true.
We were all kids. He was an adult, so he
Yeah.
was teaching us. Because I
Yes.
remember I was just a kid, a teenager. He was already in his mid 20s,
And he was doing a
so
fabulous job too,
he
man.
was teaching us. He was the Pied Piper.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I have to agree with you. He
You
was
know,
before Larry and Frankie Knuckles, basically.
Mm-hmm.
he was before all of them.
Yeah, he taught them
Tony
private.
Tony Smith, Larry, Frankie, all of them that was from that era. Nicky started the ball rolling.
Yes, he did.
He started
Yes.
the ball rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Gallery, Cheetah Club, all of those places.
Yeah.
It was always Nicky. But see,
Yeah.
that's why I tell people Nicky was a grown man. We was just kids following behind him.
Yeah.
So wherever they played, we came.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes it just stops with Mancuso and Nikki. They don't talk about Francis Grasso,
No,
Mm-mm.
they don't. Sure
which
don't, brother.
it's Grasso, Mancuso, then Nikki.
Yeah.
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 But see,
Yeah.
that's because a lot of the people like Grasso and Mancuso, they pretty much was disco,
Hmm.
and they was prime in the disco era before we came in the 80s, and they started using a lot of disco music in the underground clubs. Because I remember them, but I remember them in discos. I don't remember them in underground clubs. So
Yeah.
we
But
got dressed up. We would get dressed up to go to their parties.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
wouldn't get dressed up to go see Larry. Now we just came in
No.
our pajamas.
Yeah.
And see,
And
that's
a hula hoop.
hula hoop, Chinese slippers, and some Weibo pants.
Some
Label
jelly
pack.
slippers,
I
depending how you
Yeah,
felt.
with some.
remember. I remember those
Yeah,
days, man.
Oh my
Those.
goodness.
That's when music was music.
yeah, but that's why I differentiate them beyond Nicki and them. I feel like that era to me was disco. And
Okay.
that's what I associate with. I had no clue about Nicki and Larry and Frankie and all of them. I was in that disco. I was just starting to party, and the first time I was partying, it was disco. And
Well,
then all of a sudden, I landed in this underground world, and they told me you ain't gotta dress up. You better come to sweat. You're gonna be there for hours, and it was a whole new experience.
yeah. Yeah.
so,
Same
so
with me. Same with me. When I my first experience, believe it or not, a lot of people think King Street is the first garage, but that's not where garage start off from. Most people
Hmm.
most people say the garage is 84 King Street, but that's not where
Right.
it originally from. You know, I remember when I first went there. It's like, matter of fact, my first gay club I ever went to, just like blew me
Hmm.
away. I didn't know what was going on. It was a meat
Right.
factory. It was on. Matter of fact, it was on Reed Street, if I'm correct.
Okay.
It was a meat factory. That's exactly what it was.
Right.
Ah.
And
Hmm.
I'm telling you, it was like, I mean, the room was so intense. Then all of a sudden, everybody's sweating. They just hit one button, the room just cool off. Just
Yeah.
like that, because it was a meat house, and
Yeah.
that's where it originated from. But everybody's under the impression that the garage started at 84 King Street, but that's not the original
Mhm.
the house home of it,
Yeah.
basically. You know.
That I'm under that impression because that's all I knew.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. A lot of people.
And
I
I
listened to,
like like you saying it was something before that.
yeah,
I
yes, it
wasn't
was.
there before that, so I wouldn't be able to expound on that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So if
but
you
it
ask me
was
my experience, that's where it started for me.
King Street.
Nobody ever told me or nobody I ever met gave me insight on something before that. So that's what I knew,
Gotcha,
you know.
gotcha.
Just like I it was a lot of clubs that was going on before the garage that were big clubs, but I probably wasn't even old enough to go to. which a lot of people, talk about. Well, this was before the garage and this was before the law. I can't speak on that because I didn't go there.
Understandable.
I wasn't old enough. I didn't even know anything about clubbing and dancing and all of that stuff. But what I did find out when I did discover it, that's where it started for me.
Understandable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here. Very same.
So you never did the Starship?
Say it again.
Starship.
Yeah, I did Starship. I remember Starship. That was more. Starship was more. It was a club, nice club, but it wasn't that underground music you were going to hear. You weren't going to hear. You wasn't going to hear that.
That was where, right? A lot of people would go.
Huh?
That was where a lot of people would go.
Yeah, they did because they didn't know they didn't know where else to go, possibly. But
all right.
When the music changed, the game changed.
So you see what happens. You see what happens when you get a room filled with veterans. You just get to talking. We didn't even do the introduction. We didn't even say Bliss on the spot. We didn't even say who was in the building. They just jumped right in, family, and just started talking about just, the club. So, I mean, that's what happens when we break bread. But the 80s was definitely a mega club, 70s and 80s. I was watching Nighthawks the other day, and they filmed a scene in there from the club Xenon.
Really?
Yeah, the part where they find the terrorists. That's the club. And I'm like, yo.
Yeah. But there's a lot in the late 70s and 80s, you'll find a lot of like B movies use the clubs. A lot of B movies that came out, thriller movies, trendy movies, a lot of them came into the clubs. They would have a scene in a club that was just major in the city at that time. So a lot of times you could be watching an old 80s or 70s movie and you'd be like, that's such and such a club.
Yeah.
So they did that a lot as far as using finding spaces to film on locations. Because the club scene was so big and so much a part of everybody's life, a lot of movies came into the clubs.
Yes. So true.
All right. So now that we got that out of our system,
did you do the intro?
We're gonna do that right now. We're doing it right now. But you know what? That was a grand intro. Just jump right in and start talking about just life in the club scene. That's what's up. So all right. So this is Bliss on the Spot. I'm Will Milton. We got Ricoh Scott. We got Sandy ParadiseLady, Carolyn Victorian. We have as well, and special guest Wille. What's up, fam?
Welcome.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you. Feel quite comfortable, I have to say.
That's what's up. So, Wall, it's really it's really a great honor to have you here on the show with us. So, if it's okay with you, can we just jump right in?
Yeah. Hey, I follow your lead. I'm with you.
All right. So now, tell us a little bit about yourself. Born and raised?
I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I originated from Brownsville, from the projects. From there, grew up, moved around. Matter of fact, when I was living over there, I don't know if y'all remember this. I'm probably going to give you something you probably never heard of. You ever heard of a club called the Squeeze?
No.
Okay, there was a club. This is back when people was hustling. Before
what year?
Music.
What year?
Oh, that was like in 70, 78, 79, maybe a little before that, way before that, probably. And what I used to do is go to the clubs, but we was hustling then, basically dancing. I mean, I enjoyed music very much. So one day, a friend of mine said, "Listen, man, I have a club I want to take you to in Manhattan. I'm like, yeah, okay. And that's when I first got introduced to the garage. Basically, it wasn't garage, and it was just a club. That's when I first got introduced to it, and I didn't know how to explain it. That's when I heard "Love Hangover" by Diana Ross. And back then, you can hear a record at a club. You would never hear it for about a year on the radio, if you heard it on the radio. And I kept telling people about this record Diana Ross did, but nobody knew about it because it was mainly underground club then. It was blooming, basically. And then from there, it just bloomed. I just got addicted to the music. You know, I used to work at Brooklyn Development Center. And the funny part about it is I used to cut deals with my coworkers. I used to be at the garage until like 9 o'clock in the morning and say, listen, they say, I'll call them up at 7, supposed to be there at 7, but I call them up at 7 and say, hey, listen, I'm running late. Okay, Willie, we know you're at the club. Tell you what, you can come at 9 o'clock, but when you come, you got to take all the kids. Bet, not a problem. So I would get there at 9 o'clock. I'm supposed to be there at 7, and I'll take all the kids outside, put them on the grass, and have a great time. I was just hooked then, basically, to the music, you know. And the rest just went on. As time went on, I just bloomed doing different things.
So, Willie, I remember you in the 90s more so, just the golden era of house music. But tell us, what was your introduction into the music business?
My introductory was when I had started doing parties. For some reason, I just had a notion that I can give a party. And that was my introductory to the music business. I gave a party one day and it came out so well. I was like, wow, that wasn't hard at all. I gave a party on 515 Waverly Avenue. And the first party I had about 600 people, which
600?
Yeah.
What was 515?
Huh?
Was it like what was 515? Was it a loft, a building?
It was a loft.
Okay.
Yes, it was a loft. It was a loft building, factory building.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, how I found the building, Tony Humphrey was doing parties there, him and some people, but it wasn't doing nothing then for some reason. So, I went in there on a Thursday night. They was doing major night. They were doing Saturdays and Fridays and Saturdays. So I just I was curious about this thing. So I went there on a Thursday night, and the rest was like, once the doors open, that was it. They were just coming in. And the thing about it, back then, Brooklyn wasn't the place to be, especially on Fulton Street. Fulton and Waverly, Fulton and Clinton. Right now, that's the prime area of Brooklyn. But back then, say in 78, you couldn't get people to get on the A train to come to Brooklyn.
What was going on?
People, getting stuck up, getting robbed.
Yeah,
this wasn't the place.
It was gangster. Listen, I lived on Fulton and St. James for 9 years. But this is your interview. Look, this is your interview,
right?
Yes, right by the barbershop.
Yeah,
right there, right by the barbershop. Matter of fact, across from the barbershop on St. James, that corner building is where Biggie grew up.
Biggie, yep. Yes, you're right. Yep.
And that's why they got a mural of him over there now, because his mother and him lived in that corner building right across facing the barbershop on St. James and Fulton.
Yep. Right.
But back then, I didn't know Biggie, and I didn't know, and he wasn't nobody. He was a little cell, his little side cell in front of the barbershop, and you'd be like a little kid that you just swipe out through. Get out my face, little boy. And he's out there trying to, work the streets.
So
had no idea what his direction was. None whatsoever.
Exactly. That's my point.
So
but it was gangster.
This 515, just to get to it. Now, most people think Tony Humphreys is originally from Jersey, which is not true, but you
I know,
did say
right? A lot of people
right.
don't know
All right.
that.
Yeah. So all right, back to the 515 before this whole regentrification. It was gangsta. So what? So talk about it, please.
So what we did was I was giving parties there. I started giving parties, and on a Thursday night, 600, 500 people. I mean, it was like crazy, real crazy. And I think what made it happen for us was we had we had a policy where I don't care how you look, meaning if you wasn't a member, you couldn't get through the door, or if you didn't look a certain way, you couldn't go through the door. We wasn't letting everybody in the club, and that's what made. I think that was part of what helped it go the direction it went. I didn't care if you was a good-looking girl, if you didn't have the vibe or the aura, you wasn't coming in the club. I don't care who you were, and that's how we maintained the club. Basically, the funny thing about it was we started doing a thing called mixed pleasures, where we had gay, straight, black, white, gay. Everybody was in the club. And the word was gay and straight people don't party together, which is not true. So we did it, and we had black, white, straight, gay, Chinese, everybody coming to Brooklyn, which normally, like I said before, you couldn't get people to go to Clinton and Washington on the A train. That was a no-no. If you miss Clinton and Washington, you go to Franklin, you definitely in trouble if you get off the train at Franklin Avenue in Fulton. Am I right, bro? Scott?
It was like the movie The Warriors.
Yeah.
Think about that movie, The Warriors, when they trying to get back home and they gotta go through all those gangs and all of those boroughs. That's how it was. So you went beyond that line. Every man for himself. Every man for himself.
So as time went on, we kind of like really created a great buzz in Brooklyn to the point where we had. I mean, I can sit here all day and just name DJs that came through there before they became who they are today, have played for us there, from Timmy Regisford to Larry Patterson, Ken Lightfoot, Francois. I can go on and on and on. I mean, these cats play for it at this club. Stan Williams, I don't know if you know Stan. He's in Germany now. I think he moved to Germany. He's playing over there.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the DJs that are prime today, they all played that once. Larry came to the club. Did he play? No. I'd imagine he's one to come to see what was going on in Brooklyn. T. Scott played for us. I mean, we had a great variety of DJs coming through there, and it was really good. Really good. Yes.
DJ Extra had a question. Who played the first party?
Ooh, that's a good one. If I am correct, I think Ken Lightfoot was one of the first ones.
Get out.
If I'm correct. And if not him, you ever heard of Ernie? You ever heard of a DJ called Ernie Kendall?
No.
Space Cowboy? Called himself Space Cowboy?
No.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't, I ain't gonna lie. I think it was Ken, but I can't really put my finger on it because they was this we was getting them from Jersey all over. I tell you one DJ that actually really fascinated me to the point where I was like blown away. And, when you're in this business, you can respect a good DJ. You can respect somebody who knows how to play, know how to control a crowd. I had a guy named, you ever heard of John Monaco?
I have.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Excuse my expression, play his ass off.
Speak freely.
I was you remember Sassoir? Anybody remember the club Sassoir?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was, how should I say this? I was hustling. So meanwhile, I was doing after work parties downtown at Sassoir after work, So one night I went there and somebody was playing and I was standing downstairs. I'm like, damn, who's that playing upstairs? I'm just listening. I'm stuck because nobody plays that kind of music in Sassoir, but this kid was just banging it out. I didn't know. So I goes up in the booth and this guy named John Monaco. Make a long story short, I brought him to Brooklyn. Almost speechless. He's a guy, he's the only first DJ I ever see play Thorns backwards back then. I've never seen a DJ play Thorns backwards.
And Thorns are not easy turntables to play off
they're
of.
not. So imagine playing them backwards. You know, I would go when he'd be in the club, he would say to me, Wille, you want to see me make them scream? Yeah, John. Yeah. This guy would actually make the crowd scream, have the floor stomping. He knew how to control a crowd, man. This kid was like awesome, man. He was really great, man. A good DJ.
Now, Walt, like what year was this Thursday event? Because you mentioned Kim Lightfoot played it, and this is great knowledge for me, because when I think of Lightfoot, I know he was definitely known in Brooklyn, but just known for the Afterlife events in the 90s.
Yeah,
so I'm learning that Lightfoot goes further back than the 90s.
Yeah, 70. We talking about like in 78, 77, I was banging it back then, man. You know? And I think Ken came towards the end, but I can't because I was doing rotating DJs.
Kenny Carpenter?
Carpenter played there, you name it. I don't think there's many you can name that hasn't, played there, basically, man.
But what made the DJs want to play there?
Well, because nobody was doing what we was doing in Brooklyn at that time. There was clubs in Brooklyn. They had Ozone Layer was in Brooklyn at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Place called Brown's Guest House. That was different. They had a lot of things going on. But we tend to have a certain aura that we was able to give to the audience, and they loved it. At one time, the club was where you can go there, and people was just, you got women that would take their tops off with bra and just dance. Nobody would bother them. That kind of party. That's kind of party it was. We had the punch back then. I mean, we know what was going on. You had a bowl of water, and you had a bowl of fruit. You had a bowl of water, and you had a bowl of punch. Now, which one you want to drink from? One of them is going to get you, if you understand what I'm saying. Back then,
That's become common knowledge in the history of clubbing. Okay, that was something that was a thread that went through many clubs. That punch in that water bowl was used in a lot of clubs.
So what we would do is we would take a candle and put it behind the one that was spiked, basically. That was our indication. That was our indication. And in the party,
everybody had a system. Everybody had a system.
Yeah. We had we had a great run there, man. I mean, it was just, and entertainment. I mean, Boyd lived around the corner. The club was 515 Waverly Avenue. Boyd lived 515 Clinton Avenue, right around the corner.
Wow.
So some nights.
How come it ended?
Well, various reasons. It ended. They had a big fire across the street from 515, and then when that happened, that caused the marshals to come on the block, inspect the situation, and to the point where now they want a sprinkler system. Now, this is a funny part. I never forget this. I never forget when guys come to tell me they're going to collect my garbage. So these two dudes comes up with the suit and ties, which is true story. You see it on TV all the time, but it's really true. These two Italian dudes come to the club one afternoon. We up there doing something. The guys come to the club, and they said to me, "Who runs the club?" So I said, "I do." He said, "Listen, man, we're going to be picking up your garbage, and we pick it up on Wednesdays." I said, "But I have somebody that picks it up already." He said, "No, don't worry about that. We're going to pick it up." I said, "But what about the guy that picks it up?" I mean, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that. But we'll pick your garbage up, and 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 that was it. They started picking the garbage up. We started paying them.
All right. So now, at what point did you move from coordinating events to now getting into music production and with records? And what year did this start?
Cookie Walk, let's see, 90s, early 90s, say.
How did you, 90s?
What happened? I'm gonna tell you how it happened. tell you exactly what happened. When we had the club, I kept on saying, here I'm playing everybody's records. I got like 600 people, 700 people dancing to. Everybody's bringing their test pressings there. That's when we had test pressings, and everybody's coming to the acetates. Everybody's coming to the club with all the goodies. And I'm saying to myself, you know what, man? If I can do this for them, why can't I do it for myself? Start do a track. But I had no idea at that time. So to move forward, there's a guy named John Moore, which is my partner, and he's been with me since 30, 40 years. I mean, we still the best of friends, and we still do stuff together for his production. He came to me when the club is at its height, and he says to me, "Hey, Willie, my name is John, man. I want to play for you one day." So I said to myself, here it is. I got all the best DJs that I can ever have at that time, and this guy's telling me he wants to play for me. Me being a gentleman, I said, cool, no problem, man, no problem. What's your name? I took his name, da-da-da, and we became friends. And to move it forward, next thing you know, we started doing music. And that's where the music started at. He actually was the one that actually helped institute the music production, because John is very, very, very technical when it comes to production. I'll be in the club, he'll be home studying how to do this, how to do that, how to do that, how to do this. And that's how it started with the music. So what we started doing tracks and playing it at the club. And that gave us our debut, basically. And then from there, go ahead.
What was the debut song?
Say it again.
What was the debut? What was that first record?
That first record, it was Karen Pola, You Can't Touch Me. I've been around. Remember that? Karen, You Can't Touch Me. I've been around.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name? What's his name did a mix for us also? I can't think of his name, but the record is still his mix is still making a lot of noise for us.
Mark?
A lot of noise. Then after that, we started doing records for Emotive. We started doing records for Nerve, all the regular cats, Nervous, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the next big record for us was the I'm Attracted to You by Cookie Watkins.
All right, hold that thought, please. So this is the Karen Polak.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is on Emotive.
The Merc mix, yes. That's what did
the
it.
Merc. So
yeah.
All right, so now was this a second meaning a second release? Your release was the first release, and then Emotive decided to do a second release with Merc.
Exactly. Okay. No, they did it with us, but we let them
on the flip.
We say it again.
No, was Merc version on a flip, or it was another release? Like you had the original that came out first. Oh, it's on the flip.
No, he was on the flip. It was on the flip because back then, the music business was, it was like you let them tell you what to do, or you don't let them tell you what to do, or you just don't do it. And they was trying to do their way. We wanted to do it our way. There's no way you're gonna take our record and do that without us putting our mix on. It's not gonna work. We're not gonna do that. So we wind up working it out where he did a mix on it, and then and extended it basically. And the mix extended the record. Still today, it makes a lot of noise. Still does sales, streaming, and the music bit, that record, it was our one of our debuts. Then now, I'm sure you remember Family Prayer.
Definitely. Hold that thought.
Mm-hmm.
But the Cookie Watkins track came out before, right? The You Can't Touch Me?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yes, it did.
Because that was my introduction to you. Like that Cookie Watkins, because I remember when I first heard it, it was definitely Tony Humphries at that time. Timmy Regisford was playing it.
Yep.
And DJ Disciple on his 91.5 FM college radio station.
Yes. Yep. I mean, the record we made a lot of noise to the point where it was like a summer night in the streets. everybody's playing it. Every car banging it out on a house scene. It was a great record for us. It debuted at number 3 or 4 on Billboard dance chart when it came out. But let me give you the rest of the story. Do you want to hear the rest of the story?
We waiting.
What happened
That's
is
what we here for.
the record made so much noise that the young lady that was singing the record, her father had a band, and they wanted to take over the deal. They decided, you know what, since we got a band, I'm the singer, we can take this deal over and we can do shows. So one day the label called me, Smash Records called me and said, Willie, we got a situation here. The young lady that sung this record, she wants to take the deal over, which she couldn't do, but she attempted to do, not realizing how the business was. She didn't know the business as well. So the record back then was banging. It was hot. We were about to release it. We were about to release the record. So what we had to do was we had to snatch it back. All the test pressings, we like iced it out. Then we had to find someone else to sing it like real quick. So we found Cookie Watkins. She came in.
Who was the original artist or before Cookie?
Yeah. Huh?
No, you said there was another artist before Cookie?
Yeah,
okay.
She did. She, like I said, her and her family, they had a band and they didn't want to I'd rather not even mention her name, to be honest.
Okay, understood.
Right.
Understood.
So what we did was we took it to another level. We got Cookie, and Cookie just put the icing on the cake. I mean, she really, really did an excellent job to the record. So when that happened, we decided to put some more leverage under it. So that's when we got Tony, E Smooth, who else? E Smooth, Tony, Maurice, if I'm correct.
Maurice, the Chicago crew.
Yeah, they came in.
Yeah.
And they banged it out, man. They banged it out with her voice. So that kind of like, with the plan was to oversaturate the original much as we can, because we had to come hard, because the record itself was standing by itself. The one that the original vocalist did. So we took it and we canned it, and it's been sitting since. Like you said, there's a bootleg out.
Yeah.
There's a bootleg out, but everybody's still asking for that copy.
So Wall, who wrote that song?
Well, I did. And I wrote it on, you know what Belmont Avenue is? You heard of Belmont Avenue?
In Brooklyn or in Queens?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn,
it's a shopping center.
Yeah.
Shopping.
It
One day I was walking down the street, and this being who I was at that time, I seen this young lady, and I was like talking to her. I'm attracted to you, playing around, and I kept on saying it. Then when I got to the studio with John, threw the hook in there, and we just played with it, and that's what it came out to be. Then we had Anna, the young lady, brought her in. She helped write it too, as well. I said it right.
You sure did.
She helped write the song as well. So we all
Heads could look it up. Social media.
Yeah, I know. Secret. I know. But she put her magic to it, and the song went. We did pretty well with it, man. It was a great record for us. Great record, man. Great record.
Now, Wall, where did you record that actual project? Because it was so
that project
polished.
we did it at I think it was Hit Factory.
Hit Factory?
Yeah. They gave us a great. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Do you remember what equipment you used at that time?
Yeah. I mean, not back then. We was using, believe it or not, you ain't gonna believe what I'm about to say. We were using little keyboards, Z101. Them little things had sound that you wouldn't believe. The Rode,
the Casio.
The Casio, the Rode piano, the church one. The black one looked like a casket. That stuff like that we were using back then. They had a Neve board in there that was fully automated, man. So we'll stay there like maybe all night, come back the next morning, man, or the next day, or day 2 or 3, come back, just hit the button, everything just go right back where you're supposed to be at, and we start all over again, man.
Gotcha. So, all right, Wall. So you got your first record out. What was your lifestyle like when you were the producer at that time?
Honestly, I was more out there, but I wasn't, and I was more to myself because I've learned even when I was doing the club, you can be friends with people. But it's just that it's a certain aura you have to give to make people understand and respect who you are and what you do sometimes, you know. So I'll just lay back. I go out party once in a while, see what's going on out there. Always wanted to go out, see what's going on. But my lifestyle mainly was doing music, man. That was it.
Gotcha.
That was it at that time. Doing music, trying to learn it. To be honest with you, I wasn't as sharp as my partner John is. Like when it comes to the engineer, he's like,
okay,
how the young boys, he's a beast, as they say.
Yeah.
And this cat will stay up like for 2 days, man, trying to get it right.
Yeah. Because like I was saying earlier, the 90s definitely the golden era. Everyone was eating lovely. Everyone's getting major advancement money where they're living really good. So that money, the prestige, the power, that changes the lifestyle, especially if you're coming up and things are really moving. You're on a major label. I mean, Polygram Smash was distributed by Polygram,
and they
so
wasn't and they wasn't playing. They did back then. You was getting a real budget. You was getting a real budget to do a project, and that was the difference. Like you can pay a keyboard player $2,000, $3,000 to do the keyboard work for you. Things like that you can do, and it wouldn't even affect your budget at all for what you're doing. You would go to Hit Factory for 2 or 3 days, it still wouldn't affect your budget as what you're doing. That's how it was at one time, the music business. But you know how it's deflated to the point where it's like it's totally it just ain't the same basically.
We'll get into that because your label mate, Steve Silk Hurley was on doing stuff on there. I'm not sure. I think Shantae Savage or Shantae Moore, probably. No, not Shantae Moore. I think it was Shantae Savage. So it's
Shantae
like Savage, right? So you're getting all this, you're getting all these points. Things are looking good. What was your objective for entering the music business?
I'll be honest with you. Be very honest with you. I just wanted to make a statement. My objective was to make a statement and create a production company, a strong production company. That's what I really wanted to do, and that's what I was reaching for. And that's how I started collaborating. Me and John Robinson. That was part of the plan. I didn't plan it, but God make things happen a certain way that you don't plan it. It happens. He makes things happen for you when it's meant to be for you. We, after meeting John, and for some reason he took to me, I took to him, and next thing you know, we was just on another situation, making things happen, basically. Gotcha. And I learned a lot from him, man. Because you always can learn from someone, always.
Well, for those who may not know, who is John Robinson?
John Robinson, first and foremost, was a very good friend of mine. Come to be as a very good friend. He was the guy that did WBLS Midday Mix, and to the point was he was a dictator of new music. If he didn't play it on his midday mix, that means it wasn't a cut. I'll leave it like that. It wasn't a cut. So what he used to do was, in fact, he used to break a lot of records. He breaks. And him and I, when we hooked up together, we was doing it. You know, we collaborate on some stuff. Then at the same time, we was commuting back and forth to London, taking artists over there. Um, what's the girl name? I can't think of a name right now, but we was doing deals over in London as well. We was going back and forth, doing deals over London, also taking acts over there, doing shows at the same time, you know, commuting back and forth. It was a lot of fun. You know, it was something that happened. You know, you don't plan it. I didn't plan this. It just came to me, and I made the best of it as much as I can. You know, um, we did London deals. We did. There was a label over there. I can't. Oh, thank you. In Freetown, in the label, we was doing a lot of stuff for them over there, commuting back and forth, doing a lot of stuff. You know, but John Robinson was a good inspiration in terms of me learning a little bit more about the music business and the direction that it was going.
How did you meet John Robinson?
I met John in Brooklyn at Junior's.
But he's from Jersey, right?
He's
Originally?
from Jersey. I'm in Junior's, downtown Brooklyn, getting a cheesecake. Everybody go there for cheesecake. Down there getting cheesecake. And I bump into the brother, and we started talking. I didn't know who he was at first, and he didn't know me. So we just sitting talking, start talking music and da-da-da. Next thing you know, we exchanged numbers. And next thing you know, and I told him what I was doing in Brooklyn. I met him around town. I was in Brooklyn before it ended, what I was doing in Brooklyn as well. And we hooked up and we started doing some projects together. That's when we did the Robinson Wall project.
Talk about that, because it looked like it was a compilation with that featured various artists, right?
Yeah, what we did was we got together and collaborated on different artists that we felt that we can put them together on the same EP that we can get mileage from it. And not to pat anybody on the back, I think we did pretty well with it. We did I think we put about 6 cuts on there, and every one of them did very well. We did the No Time for Crying. Was that on No Time? No. No. Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, I don't know who this homie is, but that's the actual the gentleman is holding the actual EP. Now that's you, right?
Yeah.
This is John Robinson.
That's me, John Robinson, and John Moore.
This is John Robinson right here?
Yeah, the guy standing up, that's John. And
by
that's
himself?
me.
Okay.
Yes, and that's me and John on the side. The gentleman there, he I know him now, but I didn't know him back then. He emailed me one day, was telling me how much he loved this cut and and we became friends, Facebook friends. He lives in Canada. He's a DJ. He's pretty good too. So we stay in touch. Still today, we still stay in touch, man. So the Robinson Wall project, did pretty well for us. We was trying to set it up to redo it over, but it's never enough time, man. Never enough time, because at the same time, John was doing a record label for BLS, had a record label called, I think it was called Not Us, if I'm correct.
Not Us. Was that with Ken Johnston that he was doing it with, or was it Ken Johnston? Okay. With Sabrina Johnston's husband. Yes,
you got it. And also with what's the guys that own BLS? Suttons. The Suttons owned they had owned BLS, and they had a record label that we were doing some stuff. He was doing stuff out of it, and we was helping him with it basically.
I didn't know BLS had hands on Not Us. I thought it was just all John.
Yeah. Well, no. It is. The Robinson Wall Project was ours. What I'm saying to you,
Right,
there was
yeah.
another label called Not Us.
Not Us, right?
That BLS had control over, basically.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. The Not Us, the one that John started, because he started his own label, right?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Which was part of BLS, the Suttons.
Now that Robinson Wall Project, I think that might have been, I don't know, maybe he can correct me, but that was Daryl Debino's first I guess musical opportunity, because I think he wrote a song on there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. And after that,
Daryl DeBonet.
matter of fact, we did a record for him before that. Before we
Really?
did that, we did a record on Nervous. It's called One Leg on a Nightstand, One Leg on the Ceiling. You familiar with that?
I thought that was Sweet Pussy Pauline, because it's a sample from it.
Excuse me.
Sweet Pussy Pauline says it. I put one leg on a nightstand and the other one on
the ceiling.
Yeah. Sweet Pussy Pauline said that.
But we did it with the flavor of safe sex. There's a whole different twist to it. And we did it, Daryl did it where talking about having sex, safe sex, da 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 da. And it was on Nervous Records.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. He wanted to do it, so hey, let's go for it. We gave him a track, he came back with it, let's rock it. And it did pretty well. People bought it, club played it. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
You know?
Man, I gotta say, you were in great hands, a great opportunity for you. I mean, John Robinson at that time DJing on a major radio station, golden era. He's in the center of it all. It's almost like he had his own residency at a station. You know what I'm saying? Because he played the midday, he played 6 o'clock, he played on the weekend, he played at I think either Zanzibar, Club 88, Club America. He was doing this thing in Jersey. One thing I got to say about John Robinson, his music, like you knew his sound, those drums. He had those sounds that were had that signature, you know.
Yes. If you listen to the 10 City, he did a remix on 10 City. You can tell that's his mix. A lot of his stuff you can tell, basically, his mixes, man. He's a guy that, you know, like you said, he had his hands right on it. And, you know, it's sad how it happened. You know, very sad how it happened.
Are you able to tell us like how he made his transition? What happened?
Well, from what I wasn't there. I was in London at this time it happened, but I left that Sunday before because it was Mother's Day.
Okay.
I left that Sunday or that Saturday. When I got back to the States, some guys from London kept calling me and said, "Yo, man, I'm trying to reach John. I can't reach him." You know, I think they thought we was playing the good guy, bad guy, because we were cutting some deals with these guys. So they thought maybe, you know, they thought we was playing good guy, bad guy. John wouldn't pick up. They thought John wouldn't pick up the phone. So they called me and said, "Hey, listen, Willie, we can do it this way, da 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 da. Tell John, so on, so on, so on." So I said, "Okay, I get back." So I tried to call John and I couldn't get him for like 2 days. I couldn't get him. So then things have started to make me not understand what's going on. And then what I found out, one of my friends over there named Mark Rogers, you know, he called me and he the one that gave me the news that what had happened to John, you know, that it was in a car accident. And it was it. It was hard pill to swallow, man. Very hard pill to swallow. Very hard.
I'm sorry.
Hmm?
I said that was sad. So sorry.
Yeah.
I believe BLS, I think they announced something similar to that, like in a crash or something.
Yeah.
They did. They did.
Sankey was driving. And from the way I got it was, they was coming down, you know how the roads are in London, they wind in the hills. And from what I got, there's a truck was coming and there was enough room for both of them or something. And they went off the cliff. And, you know, That was it. And it was him, and one of his cousins was there. John's cousin was over there with us as well. He was still there. He was in the car also.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
like,
I mean, John Robinson, God rest his energy and spirit, he was just getting ready. Even Seiki, because I remember when I met him, that label Freetown, them two together pairing up. I mean, they were just getting ready, and I can imagine now with had John
yeah,
Robinson
yeah,
continue.
that was really, I should say, that
It's a
was
great loss.
yeah, great loss, man, for everybody, because he was definitely networking, a lot of people, and everybody, enjoyed him, man. He was a great person. Great person.
Gotcha. Now, Whoa, what would you say you contributed to this house music industry, or just the music industry in general?
I, you know, I sit back sometime and I say the songs that we have done, the music we have donated to the community, it's still today is being played, and I feel that we had offered some great recordings. See, because what happens with music, everyone listens to everybody's music and they have to filter it out to see how this thing was done. And when you do great work, people will admire your work. And when they admire you, when you leave great work behind and people can listen to and understand what you're doing, it makes it so much better. And I think what I have done is left a trail of music for the new generation to listen to understand how vocals are supposed to be done. What I'm saying probably sound very, but a lot of people can't record vocals.
How
I
should
mean,
it be recorded?
the right way. I
What's
know
the right way?
that sounds it's got to be done
Nah,
the right way.
break it down, because that's important.
Yeah, but I talk to some young guys sometime. I get on the phone with them or they'll call me up. Cats from London, a lot of cats from London reach out to me and we talk about music. They ask me things, but I've learned there's only one guy that I'm dealing with over there. He kind of listens. Most cats know that they feel they know it all. So I just listen most of the time now, because when I try to explain something to them, they're telling me how it's supposed to be. So I said, okay, I got you.
Oh,
Because they don't realize, you can build a studio in your house, but if you don't have the right tools, it ain't gonna happen. It's gonna happen, but you're not gonna get that sound, that sonically sound that's gonna catch that ear, catch that body. That's the most important thing when you do a record. Because when you get a new record and you listen to it, you can listen to 2 or 3 bars and you take it off the table. That's it. It's done. But if it's recorded properly, you're going to listen to it. And if the song is written properly, you're going to listen to it. And kids today, or the new generation, I shouldn't call them kids because they're just as old as I am. Some of them, but the new generation, the new generation, this digital thing is great, but they're taking the shortcut. You know.
Well, technology does that, because it does a lot of things for someone who's looking to create music. Like, you can do it in your bedroom, but back then we were actually in the studio, and some of us who still actually have a studio take time to still have the gear, learn the gear, know about sound, building a room inside of a room, because it's like a lot of these cats, they do their final mixes in headphones. And to me, you
Yeah,
gotta be
yeah,
able to check your frequencies, because it's like, it may sound good in your headphones, but when you get in a car, when you get in a club, it
yep,
sounds like
yep.
crap. I mean, giving respect to brothers like you, Def Mix, Frankie Knuckles, David Morales, Satoshi Tomi, like, their mixes were polished. If you listen to their remix to Shantae Moore this time with the pianos, and you see the
Yes,
strings,
yes,
and it's with the
yes,
pretty
yes,
tops, you don't hear a
yes.
lot of that stuff now. The vocals, I mean, to think that they had Mariah Carey come back into the studio because they understood the importance of vocal production. They
Exactly.
didn't want to key span and time stretch her vocals. They had her come back in and re-record, Butterfly. So, I'm happy that you talked about those vocals, because, you know vocals are important in house music. Even though we do hear it in house music today, I believe the important thing is vocal production. That's one of the things that we've forgotten, because you don't have these A&R departments anymore that can kind of like say, look, go back in and fix those vocals.
Yeah. And
Or
then another thing, when they
Mhm.
build studios, they not, stuff is, the plugs. If you're gonna get plugs, you got to really invest in that stuff. You can't go buy plugs for a couple $100 and think you're gonna get the sound like
Right.
it's not gonna
Yeah.
happen. You're gonna get a
Yeah.
sound,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna be that sound that you want to look for. You're not gonna get it,
Yeah.
you know. And I try to explain that to some guys. I try to explain it to them, and they listen. But I understand their position. So who can spend $2 or $3 grand on a plug?
And well, before I get into this, let me ask you, what are some of what are some of the practices or some of the trends that you don't like today with the music industry?
Wow. I just one of my biggest pet peeves is, and which I understand times change, and I respect it for what it is. I just don't like the fact how the new generation just take people's music and abuse it. You know, they got people remixing everybody's record from Luther Vandross to anybody, and just remixing it and not doing a great job at it, and that's insulting. When we produced, certain records wouldn't even touch. Just a matter of respect of the artist, wouldn't even touch it unless we asked them, can we remix it? They give us the vocals, we do what we do. But now everybody's up for game, and that bothers me the most of all. And another thing that bothers me, how they just take records, produce records, and throw them against the wall and see if they're gonna stick.
Yeah.
I get so much stuff in my email. It's ridiculous. And half of it has no value, none whatsoever.
Yeah, but Walt, like I think because like I said, technology makes it a lot easier. So it's easy to rip a vocal and just filter it out and put it on a track. Whereas back then we had to stripe the tape, we had to put a code on one side of the tape,
Yep.
and if we did a sample, we had
Yep.
to break it up and
Yep.
play it, redo
Yep.
it, play it over on the keyboard, on the
Yep.
key span.
Yep.
A lot of cats wouldn't be able to do that today because technology and social media is so fast paced that you wouldn't be able to catch up.
But being that it's so fast and they're moving so fast, they're not really listening to what they're doing. And they're so excited about what they're doing. When we do a record, a cut, it takes us a week before we even finish it. We listen to it, sit it down, come back maybe 5 days later and listen to it again. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll come back in the studio, work on it some more. Like right now, we finna do a project with Spring, the one that did the
Wow.
No Time for Crying. We got her in the studio now. We're doing a project with her, and what we told her was, don't rush, take your time, make it happen. And once we get the vocals, if it's right, we'll use. If it ain't right, we'll tell her, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. I think the problem is the new generation is so anxious to get it out, and they're not really perfecting it. They just doing it, throw it out. That's it. They're not worrying about their reputation. I guess nobody does in the business now. I'm very concerned if I put a record out. I'm very concerned how people are going to hear it, make sure it's correct. Because I got people like you, other people that know music, and like, wow, what is he putting out? That I don't need. And that what bothers me the most with the music industry now. The new generation has no respect for the music. That makes sense?
I definitely hear you on that. I feel like, if the OGs and the new Gs had a discussion, a panel such as this, come together to break bread and figure out how to merge these things and make it happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even for the OG cats, I mean, it's like, if you're going to come into this new business, which is it's a very young market, it's a very young audience market. If you want to tap into it, you know, you got to change the mindset, the business model.
Yeah, so
You
correct.
know?
So correct. So correct.
Even
You're so
from the way
correct.
that you dress, the way that you deliver yourself as a package. Someone who's in their 20s is not going to look at us like, yo, you're an OG. I can't identify with you. But if you give a image that like, all right, you know what, it kind of look like an OG, but the wardrobe and the way you present yourself, yeah, I can bring you around my people.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And I know that, Carolyn, we had a discussion about that before, about someone saying about age in the industry, but it's so true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
especially now.
But that's where that's where age. That's where it lies at. That's where all the goodies are. These cats, the older OGs, they know how to flip it, how to get them vocals right, how to, they know we know all the tricks, but we know all the tricks because analog to digital, you have to learn how to mix it. It ain't about digital all the time no more. And that's part of the secret. Well, it ain't the secret no more, but you know how it goes. You know how to do it. You know the game.
Yeah. So, all right. So, family, post your questions for Willie Wall in the chat room if you do have it. Guys, if you can just kind of like just check on the Facebook and also to see if anything comes up, as well. So this one cat who, I always was mesmerized whenever I would see him in the studio, not in the studio, but in the clubs. And I would think he was like a Bernard Fowler protege, Gary Michael Wade.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whenever I would be like in the club, whether it was Wild Pitch, Red Zone, Shelter, House Nation, I would hear this light-skinned brother with locks who I thought was with Living Color. I'm like, yo, he's from In Living Color, the band, with the MC jacket. Now, Mr. Wade, you did a track with him.
Yes, I did. Yep, we did a track called Deep Down. It's funny how it happened, the way the track did, because what we did was we had him in the studio. Me and John had him in the studio, and we was doing this track, and all of a sudden John came up with the idea, let's slow it down, let's flip it. And Gary was not too happy with that. He was not too happy with that. And, it was like, well, what are you doing? But he's open-minded. He understood, hey, let's make this thing happen. And if you ever listen to the record Deep Down, if you listen to how he sings, he's very laid back. He's very melancholy when he's singing. It's not like how you see him dancing in the clubs.
Yeah.
Because if you know Gary Michael Wade, he's always making it happen. He's moving, always moving, man. But the record Deep Down we did with him did pretty good for us, man. Also, and the way that he sung it was kind of cool.
It was dope,
different.
Man.
Yeah, it was different. It was different.
So he had a hard time with the hook, like slowing the hook down.
Yeah, well, I think Gary wanted to, if I remember correctly, we kind of like asked him to sing it like very melancholy, like laid back. If I'll be your woman, it wasn't like up tempo. Mm-hmm. We had him sing it little less back, pull it back a little bit. Mm-hmm. And at first he was not, he didn't, I imagine he was like, Gary's open-minded. So at first, when he first said he looked at us, he had that look. But after we did it and put the track with it, then okay, this is good. Okay, we can do this. And it worked out pretty well. Gary's a very talented guy, man.
He is, because I believe his first song was Dreamin' or Dreams. It was on the Yellow label. I forgot who the producer was, but then when I heard Deep Down,
I think he did his own. He's a producer too. I don't know if you know that. Yeah.
But Deep Down, again, you hear that Robinson's staple sound.
Yeah. Yeah. But I never forget that, because, like I said, the way we flipped it, and that's, like I said, you learn as I've learned as well. That was something I I didn't see coming. And I thought after we did it, I was like, okay, yeah, I can dig it. And after we got it done and recorded, it turned out pretty well. Gary loved it. Still today, you know.
Yeah. Who would be some people, some artists or people or producers or anyone? Who would you love to work with?
Oh man. As soon as you say that, you know, can't pop in mind CNC Music Factory.
How come?
Those guys, man. Have you ever seen them? Have you ever seen them in action when they recording?
I haven't. No.
These guys
in the
man,
studio.
Yeah, man. They don't play, man. They don't play. You know, these guys when they record. What I've learned, even from them, I've learned something. You know, when you're doing music, it's not about being selfish. It's about expanding yourself, about expanding talent. And what they would do is they would reach out to talented people and bring them in and put them at like and everybody do their thing. And at the end, they get all the pieces, then put their piece on it, and they got a song, man. I've seen them do it, man. It's like I was blown away, man, the way they do it.
So what song were you able to, or what production were you able to witness in the studio?
Which one was that? I think it was the Aretha.
The Deeper Love?
Deeper Love, yeah.
Okay. Or Pink Cadillac.
The Deeper Love. Because what they do is these cats, you know they're very talented. You know that already.
Yeah.
They talented.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they would do is they would hire different cats to come in and do this, do that, do this, do that, do that, put it together. Then they'll put their icing on it, take out what they want to take out, put it back together. I thought it was awesome. And from that, it made me realize, you know, it doesn't hurt to share. It doesn't hurt to bring in other talent to help you do what you're doing. You know? As far as a vocalist, and I'm gonna sound real corny when I say this, I would love to produce Chaka Khan.
I think we all would.
You know, I would love to.
How come Chaka though?
Well, you know, she's old school. She understands the music. She knows how to bring those vocals. She's one that you don't have to even worry about trying to tell you to bring it there. She knows where to put it at exactly without a problem.
Yes, she does.
you give her that track and you give her an idea where you want to go. It's over. It's a done deal. Would you agree? It's a done deal, man. There's a few artists that I would love to do stuff with. What's this girl name? What's her name? I can't think of her name. She's a jazz singer. Can't think of her name, but I like crossing the bridge a little bit. And if you notice on that record, I'm Attracted to You, the Cookie Watkins. She scat in it. I don't know if you notice it.
Yeah.
She put some jazz in it. You know, she scat. You know, and that's the elements that you know when you produce and you want to put something in there different. You want to put different elements in there. Some people will catch on, some won't. But those who do, they understand what you're doing very so much.
Yeah. I mean, you know, given today, it's like you gotta fuse a little bit of this and a little bit of that. One of the things that I'm uncomfortable with as far as like the industry today is the segregation. Yeah. Because I'm not so much about the race, but you have deep house, soulful house, Afro house, to the point that you can identify who an Afro house DJ so-called is. Like it's like they're put in a certain box. Yeah. That you go to hear them play, or you go to an event, they're not going to play much vocals. They're going to play just the Afro stuff. Or you go to an event and they're like, oh, they play too many vocals. And it sucks because what it does is it causes a segregation.
Yeah, I agree.
It divides. Back then, before the house music it was dance music.
Yeah.
You know,
And
you had house music, then they started calling it garage music. But like garage music, and I think I remember, I think it was either Tony Humphries who had a problem with that, because they would put that label with him as being the garage music, which basically they're saying the New Jersey sound crossing over to the UK.
Yeah. Then they also started doing garage jungle music. They started putting so many different tags on music. It's got ridiculous. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they put a lot of tags on music at one time, you know, and all different kind of jungle this, jungle that. And I'm like, garage jungle music. I couldn't believe it, you know, but I think they toned it down a little bit. I'm not sure. I think they toned it down a little bit.
I don't know.
You know?
I mean, the the reason why I say fusing everything is because some cats won't play a vocal track because they don't know how.
Yeah, just like I said, some cats can't produce a vocal track,
and that's why we have a lot of what you hear today.
Yeah, you find a lot of cats can't do vocals, man. It doesn't sound, you know, by me saying it doesn't sound as serious, but it is.
It's serious.
Yeah.
If you tell a cat today, yo, let that singer hit a G minor, they'll look at you like, what? Or can you stack that on a third? And they'll look at you like, third, like 1, 2, 3, like, what are you talking about? Or, you know, can you create a counter melody on the top of that melody? No. They have no idea what you're talking about.
No, they don't, man. No, they don't, man. I wonder sometimes where are we going with this music? I don't know. I'm sure it's not going back of how we used to have our music. I don't know where it's going, but I'm curious as hell.
Well, you know, I think her name is Etta Mae. I think she's like an R&B. She's taking it back. Like, you listen to her stuff, she's hitting you with a lot of that, and she's a very she's a young artist, and she's killing it. She's bringing that flavor. Etta Mae, I think, yeah, Etta something. She's dope.
That's it, Etta Mae.
Etta Mae, right? Okay, yeah, yo, she's killing it.
You know, it's like you good. Is it Lee James? What's her name? Lee James.
Layla James.
Layla, yeah, man.
Yeah. You talking about Layla James?
Yeah. She's a bad girl.
West Coast girl.
Yeah. She's a bad girl.
Yo,
she's doing a show here in a couple of weeks with Shaka Khan.
Where at? When you say here, where everybody's in
New Jersey, right? New Jersey Pack.
What is that?
Shaka Khan. She's opening for Shaka Khan. Layla James is opening for Shaka Khan.
And when you say New Jersey Pack, what is that? That's a Coliseum or something, or?
It's like it's the Performing Arts Center. Like you go to City Center or the Met or the Lincoln Center or Madison Square Gardens.
Gotcha.
It's in Newark, New Jersey.
Gotcha. That should be good. It should be a good show.
Yeah. DJ Wille P56. He has a question for you, which is, can you talk about Grandmaster Flowers?
Sure can. Flowers.
Wow.
Flowers. Very talented brother. Matter of fact, when I first started doing the club in Brooklyn, I used to get the sound system from Flowers. He was known for sound systems. And he used to do the system for us. And he was one thing about him, man. He was what's the word? Let me find the right word for it. He was a connoisseur when it comes to a sound system. I mean, this guy can put a system together for you. You think Richard Long can put a system together? This guy used to come with stuff, man. The room would be like, sound system would be, that kind of, great guy, man. Matter of fact, as I was saying earlier, Francois wanted me. Matter of fact, we was texting each other. We was talking about Flowers. Flowers used to run around the club with a gun on his hip. Right?
No way.
A gun, yeah. So now we're in Brooklyn. Come on. Back then, we're in Brooklyn. We're on Fulton Street and Waverly Avenue. Times are hard. Times are crazy. But the funny part was Francois said to me, it was about a couple of months ago, we was texting. He said to me, you remember Flowers used to run around there with a rusty 45 on his hip? I said, no, I don't remember. I do remember, but I don't pay much attention to it, but Flowers was a great guy, man. When it comes to a sound system. Matter of fact, he was the guy that you remember back in the days they was doing Reese Beach. Are y'all familiar with Reese Beach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one time,
Yes.
he was the guy that was supplying the sound system for all those guys. Then Maboya came, these other guys came along, but Flowers was the guy. He transitioned some years ago, but was a good guy. I had a lot of great time with him, man. I mean, I had a lot of great times with him, man. I mean, we would argue about the sound system, and he would tell me what he's doing. And I'm like, I don't care what you're doing. I need a good sound system. But he always had the room thumping, man.
Well, I have a question about sound, sound systems, because I mean, it's known like Queens, the Mobile Jocks were serviced by Richard Long, because Richard Long was servicing cats like the Disco Twins, the All Brothers. Yeah. I gotta throw my dude Paul Brown in there. But Brooklyn also known for having some of the best sound systems. Now, Brooklyn is also known for a very Caribbean-based community, and we know, like, especially the Jamaican culture, they love that heavy bass. Could that be also a contribution also to having like a thundering sound system?
Yeah,
for the borough of Brooklyn.
Yeah, man. Yes. Maboya. Remember you've heard of Maboya ever?
Yeah.
Those cats was not playing when it comes to the sound system back then. But they was more bottom. They was more. Their system was bottom to the point where, man, your windshield was ravel. I'm talking about your front windshield was ravel, man. That's how much bottom they would put with it, man. But it was well known. But back then, like you said, the Caribbean, but also cats like Flowers, cats like Maboya, cats like the Dow Twins. They wasn't playing back then in Brooklyn, man. There was actually, because back then you can go to Reese Beach and give parties. Now they stopped all of that. We're not allowed to do nothing but so much no more. When it comes to the music,
they only give you 4 hours.
Huh?
They only give you 4 hours. And that's it.
Yeah. I heard they're trying to stop. They're trying to stop Fort Greene.
They've been trying to do that for years.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you what's happening. The area is becoming to be more than what it was before, and the community has a community board now, a strong community board, and they're against it. So, not saying they're gonna be able to stop it, but they're fighting for it. And the possibility of them doing it, I don't know. To be very honest with you, anything is possible, because Clinton Hill at one time was like, nothing, but now it's the Mecca. Bedford-Stuyvesant is the Mecca now, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to go back a little bit. Now, you mentioned the artist Spring. Was that John Robinson was part of that? But is that also a Robinson Wall project?
Yes, one of them. Yeah, we did some work on that one too. What we're about to do with her is we're finna do a makeover. We're finna do a song she's gonna do over. Then what we're gonna do after that with her, after she does that, we're gonna release it. Then we're gonna re-release No Time for Crying. We're gonna do a revamp of it. And what I mean by revamp is we are going to do the original vocals, and we're going to have to put some more new vocals on top of it so they can distinguish between the original and the new one, basically.
Okay.
We're reaching out. Once we get it done, then we're going to reach out to see if we can get cats to do mixes on it for the, and push it out there, basically. Because my problem is just that I find guys that does music, the sharing is not there for some reason. It's like, it's my record, that's it, nobody else. Instead of saying, hey bro, you want to do a remix? I mean, I mean, you just don't let anybody touch your record, but you understand what I'm saying. You got to reach out to people and share. When you share, you get much more out of it, you know. But that's what that's what we're working on right now, basically. I'm hoping by next week she'll call me and send me the vocals, and I'll know if it's what it is.
Now tell us about that track, because that's a very emotional track. Like No Time for Crying, it matches the message in the music, and I've seen people actually cry while that song is being played, and it's a very dance emotional song. Tell us about that. Like how did that song come about, the development, the stages of that writing process?
What's in Spring? She wrote it. John add to it, but she wrote it. She's how should I say it? She's she's very spiritual young lady. And I think things happen in people's lives sometimes, and it tend to make you write it. You know, there's some things that brought it to that point. And when she started writing it, then after a while, when John got a hold to it, then he put his part to it, and it was done. It was a done deal. Because sometimes you got to be, when you get a good record, you need not to take it further. You know how it is when you mix a record. That's it. Once you got that mix, it's it. And it make no sense to go back in the studio, do more to it. Ain't no sense to rewrite that song. The song is there. But that's the problem with a lot of producers.
What do you mean?
Well, what they do is they overdo it. I know it sounds, what I'm saying doesn't sound as serious, but it means a lot. When you know what you're doing, no matter what it may be, you know what you're doing. You don't have to overdo it. If you know what you're doing, once you do it, it's done. It's a done deal. It's it. It's like when you're cooking. You know when the food is done. You can overcook it now.
So what it sounds like, sometimes the producers, they get the OCD with the music, the way they keep going back. I mean, I'm a product of that. Sometimes I do it sonically because I want it to sonically sound right. But mixing and production, they're two different sciences. They're not the same thing.
Yeah, I know. I have the same. My partner, John Moore. This guy, when we go in the studio or we together, I go to bed at 5. I get up at 11. He's still in the studio. That's how he does it. And then the next day, I go to bed about 5. I say, I tell you what, let me take this mix with me. Let me have this mix, and you can do what you want to do, because the mix is done. But sometime when I come back the next morning, or when I wake up and come upstairs, he done did it. Oh, I like that better. Sometimes it works, but sometimes it's hours.
So was No Time for Crying, was it a demo at first? Like did Spring give you a cassette or a DAT, whatever it was at that time, and gave you the
No, what happened was John gave her a track.
Okay.
And she started writing to it.
She started writing to okay.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, she started writing to the track. And from there, then when John got a hold to it, he put something to it.
He put his spices on it.
It was a done. Huh?
He put his spices on it.
He put his deal, man.
He put his JR on it. Family, do you have any questions for Wall?
I do.
Sand?
We were talking earlier, and I didn't think you finished, but what do you think about the clubs of today?
I don't even, what, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am dying to go to a club. I am dying to go out. I mean, I love it. I don't think clubs today I don't know. I hate to even say that. I feel strange by saying that, because where's there to go? No, let me say this to you. The last time I've been out, I went to see Tony Humphries at, was that club in Manhattan, La Bamba or something?
LeBang.
Say it again?
LeBang.
Yes, I went there to see him.
You said La Bamba?
La Bamba. It's so stupid, Will.
I went to see him there. I went to see Tony there. And I be honest with you, I'm dying. I am dying to go out to a club to go dancing. I really am. You have no idea. I mean, I love partying. I love good music. I haven't been dancing. Last time I seen, I think Tony, that's been about 2 or 3 years, if not longer. It's probably longer. You know, I started to go there. I think he was there a couple of months ago, and the only thing that stopped me, to be very honest with you, yeah, I'm afraid. So I can't go to the club with a mask on and have a good time. And I'm still one of those guys that wear my mask. And yeah, I can't do it now. Bad as I want to go to a club, I can't do it. You know, but where's there to go? Anybody know?
There's lots of places to go.
Really? Name one. Give me one.
Things are opening
You
up.
could have come out to Coney Island with us. Bliss was out at Coney Island. We were outside.
Yeah,
we were outside, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I know. I haven't been there either. I mean, I used to go out there. I mean, Coney Island. Oh man. I mean, I used to go out there. I haven't been there in a minute either. Last time I was out there, I ran into Rayhan, Tyrone Francis. I ran into a lot of folks out there. I mean, you know, everybody's out there, but I just, you know, I live in Virginia. So, but I will come to New York for a party anytime, real quick.
Yeah. Yo, Walt, speaking of partying, tell us about this photo.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Oh, wait.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Who's in there? First of all?
Okay. There's this guy. I can't think of his name, but the group, he has a song out. What's that record, man? Oh Lord. Oh, have mercy. I can't think of the name of the record. You know, everybody knows this record, but that doesn't work, right? That's not a good answer. Okay.
That's not a good hint.
Huh?
I said that's not a good hint.
I know his name.
Who are these people? Who are these people in this picture?
Right. Can I give you okay, that's John Robinson, Ken Carpenter. That's me over there with the glasses on.
Oh wow.
Where's Ken Carpenter?
Ken is in the middle. Ken's standing next to me.
Ken is the little short guy?
John is a little short guy.
Okay.
The third one over to the right. I'm the guy with the glasses. No, two guys. I'm the guy with the cap on with the glasses. That's Ken Carpenter with his next to me with the t-shirt on. That's John Robinson right next to him. And this guy, I can't think of the name of the group for heck. Man, I can't think of the name of this guy.
Craze?
No. They got a record out. I can't think of it. I see the album, but I can't.
Because he looks familiar, but I don't know where I know his face from. He looks familiar though.
I can't think of the name of the record. He has the
guy that's on the right.
On the right with the
kufi on.
Yeah, with the kufi on.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but they had their own label, and they had I can't think of the name of the record. I know the record.
Was it Project X?
No,
the X.
No. Let me see if I can do magic. But
the dude with the glasses, if I remember, he's a record collector from Brooklyn.
Yeah,
he was in a record show. He used to have locks. I forgot his name, but he's a record collector.
And the guy with the cap on.
You talk about the second one on the right.
Yeah, he's a record collector. He used to be always in the clubs.
Okay, I'll make the question easier for you. Go
for it.
Where were you when you took this picture?
Up at BLS.
Okay,
that's BLS.
Yes, that's BLS. Well, that's one of the rooms. They got tons of rooms up. That's one of the rooms up.
Yeah, they got a maze of booths.
Yeah,
and stuff with BLS.
We're graffiti all over it.
And I think this is one of the I can't think of this guy's name. I know the group. This is one of the midday mixes days. We was up there. We all was up there. Yeah, that's what it was. Midday mix up there. We was all hanging out. And what happens a lot, you know, a lot of people come to see him and bring him product. He used to always get the product. You know.
Gotcha.
But back to the clubs. Where there's a club open at, somebody tell me. Indoor. I'll do the outside.
Well, if you're in Virginia, I'm in Maryland. And I just saw Tony Humphrey down here. So he was just here 2 weeks ago.
You joking?
Nope.
Outside
indoors.
Inside.
It was inside.
You joking? Not where what's the name play?
It's called the Dark Room.
I've heard of that before.
And
It's really dark.
Joe Clarcell played twice in DC.
Yeah, he's always
in DC.
Everybody's always in DC. So we'll have to keep touch. I
really would, because I haven't had a dose in so long. I probably know how to act.
Yeah, you'll know.
I go to the club.
But I have a question. For you.
Go for it.
Seeing that you, like most DJs, started off being one of the party goers and being sucked in by the music and the whole production thing, but having your head to the grind as far as the music was being produced, how did you keep yourself relevant when you got on the production side and you was the music, you was producing and putting the music out? You're no longer receiving, now you give it. How you stay relevant?
You know what, man?
How you stay in tune with what was going on in the club?
Well, to be honest with you, it's like once you know the formula, man. This what I'm gonna say may not sound two and twos, but once you know that formula and you know what you can do, that's all it is. Once you know that formula and you already got a trail going. But let me correct you. I'm not a DJ. Everybody thought I play music. I don't play music. I can play, but I'm not a DJ. I produce records. I give parties, but I never played. Have I ever played at a club? Yes, I played, but I don't. I never put myself to say I'm a DJ or I play for people. I think I'm sure Will probably say he's thinking too now, right? Or did you know this?
No, I knew you weren't, it was more, pretty much on a production tip. But you know what? Nowadays, producers are DJs, singers,
DJs,
DJs.
I am so
actors
tempted,
becoming DJs.
I'm not going to be a DJ.
Truck drivers becoming DJs.
So Willie,
yes.
Well, I'm Carolyn, Victorian. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm sorry I was late. Technical difficulty. You, in a short time, took me through my early days in 7 years. And the majors doing the distribution. Are you losing me?
I got you. Say it again.
Okay. So you took me back to my early days of recording in the late 70s, early 80s, when there was like a bunch of pride surrounding projects. And everybody's chest was out and everybody really invested. I mean, the investment was so great. And studio sessions were not one-shot deals. They were coming back, staying away, coming back, reassessing. It was just a great time.
Yeah,
but then the independent labels and then the major labels picking up the distribution and the type of upfront money that came, it was a whole different world. So now any and everybody has a record label.
Yes.
Any and everybody has a record label. I mean, I think if I wanted to, I could go ahead and have a record label. I don't know what I'd do with it, but
you can.
I'm just saying, but that formula that you talk about, the formula, if you have the formula, if you could pass the formula to, let's say, 3 young aspiring producers that are open-minded to learning the old way, what would you want to give them? What would you start them off with?
Vocals. I probably would teach them how to record vocals. I would probably teach them, even though I feel they probably think they know already, I would teach them what's the difference between analog and digital, how you can combine them and really make something happen. Know when to use it, but know not to use it. It sounds simple, but if you don't know when to use analogs or digital, you can do a lot. You can do some magic with it if you know what you're doing, possibly. No, you can, basically. But my thing is, I have tried to help young producers And you know, is this that every time you tend to give them that jewel, they tend to look at it and say, is it real? You know, is this gold chain real? That it questioning me, you know. When you started questioning me, I don't take it negatively, because when you question me, that means you're curious. You're challenging me, or you're just curious to see, does it really go this way? You know, you know, is this that, you know, I'm open to do that, But the main thing I would probably want to teach them how to do vocals, how to put a track together in terms of peak, how to make a record peak. See, because a lot of cats do tracks, they don't understand you gotta make that record peak. A lot of cats don't even know about peaking a record. They just do. But let me say this. I don't know if you noticed, music today, a DJ, when a guy makes a record, it's not about a peak record no more. It's just music is so plentiful now. Everybody's doing music. Back in the day, when we doing a record, we want a record that's gonna peak the crowd at a certain time. Otherwise, we ain't doing that record. We want a record that Will is going to play when he's peaking, that Dave is going to play when he's peaking. Anybody that's playing music going to, you know, play this record. But today, I don't see DJs doing that at all. Producers doing it. Have anybody noticed that or no?
Well, you know, Wall, it's because the peak starts at the beginning. Like if you look at all these festivals, you look at even the songs, the music starts off at a peak. So it's like, for example, you got a festival with 4 different DJs and they're all banging out. They're all trying to keep that energy, and there's no peaks and valleys.
Yeah. See,
there's none of that, because they're going to tell you, yo, you cannot go any lower than this, because while you're trying to tell the event organizer, I'm trying to create a bell curve. They don't understand that.
And there's no time for the bell curve.
Yo, you're gonna lose the crowd if you don't keep this festival where it's at, and they will never ever book you again. When these producers write and produce these tracks, they produce the tracks the way that they DJ, which is, I'm gonna bang out for my first record, I'm gonna bang out in the middle, and I'm gonna close banging. Whereas we started off with, I'm going to give you a little symbol to give you an introduction as something is coming up next, and then I'm going to hit you with the verse. I'm not going to peak the verse, maybe towards the bridge, which you don't hear a lot of bridge sections. Unless our recording, you won't hear that. And usually the bridge is where you start to take off and you start to build. And even with the recording of the tracks with vocals, you don't hear a lot of that today.
So is that attributed to possibly a producer being a musician versus a producer just being a DJ? Is that
good question?
That is a question.
That's a good one. That's good.
What did James M. Toomey said? He said a producer has to at least learn one instrument. At least one instrument.
And I am a novice. I am a party goer, and I'm proud of it. But I know what I like to hear, and when you give me a open bar with 4, 5, 6, 10 DJs, I know it's not going to be pleasurable for me, because I like to follow the story that the DJ is playing, and by the time the first DJ gets on and starts to get somewhere, they're done, and then there's a whole nother person come, and they got to restart the engine, and they got to restart the situation, and then they're gone, and then somebody else to come. I don't like to party with that type of cutoff. Like, you don't get me to a point and just push me over the edge, because then I'm losing all the enjoyment of getting to the peak. That's what I came for.
But you said something very important just now. You said something that I've always brought up. DJs don't know how to tell a story. That's what I'm used to.
What I always say, Will.
Yeah. And see,
it's about the story.
It's about
you need the vocals to tell the story.
Exactly. DJs,
exactly.
They don't know how to tell the story. I mean, I remember there was times. Oh man, I didn't want to. Yeah, I'm here for that. Let me say it. I remember the times, man, when I'm at the club, man, and they playing Chaka Khan Rain, but before he plays something else that will fall into that. It's like, oh my God, it's raining, it's crying. You know, he's telling the story.
Yeah.
But you don't get that. You don't get that from. I don't.
But
I mean,
you know what it is?
Huh?
It's because the vocals, it lowers the energy.
Yeah.
Or
But
deepens it.
which people think it does, but it doesn't.
I feel just the opposite about that.
Because
I
remember,
feel just the opposite about that.
But hold up, because vocals deal with melody and feeling, whereas people don't want that feeling. They want that rhythm. They want that drive. Give me them damn congas, because I need to vibe off of that. You know what? I need to hear what this vocalist is saying, because I didn't have a good day today. And I need my inspiration to come from a vocal, not a conga.
Yeah, and see that's
exactly. And I feel like when you have played certain instrumentals, right? Mm-hmm. And instrumentals are in tune with your senses. They connect to your senses. And when those instrumentals that are connected to your senses follow up with a vocal that is relative to those senses, that to me is you telling a story. Because now I'm like, oh, I was feeling this kind of way, and now you speaking to me. Now you speaking what I'm thinking. That to me is telling a story. That's why I say if I gotta keep regrouping and recharging every time a DJ takes, because 2 DJs ain't gonna play the same. So that means you gotta start over every time the DJ plays.
Yeah, I got a problem with that.
I have a track called Mary Stomp Your Feet. If you guys get a chance, see can you find it. I'm trying to remember who I did it for. I think we put it out ourselves. It's called Mary Stomp Your Feet. It's a track. But it tells a story. It's telling you a story. It's not just a track, the drums. It has a story. If you listen, it tells you a story. It's talking about Mary Stomp Your Feet, da 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 da. And I have a cat from Japan or somewhere. I think I'm sure you know him, Will. He does a lot of the classics. The name is Toro or something.
Ruben Toro?
No.
Ruben?
No, he's from Japan.
He's from Asia.
Nori.
Yeah,
that guy.
Nori. Yeah. He used to live in New York for a while.
Really?
Nori, during the garage era. Yeah. Then he went back. Yeah.
Yeah. But he sent it to me the other day. He was like loving it. He said, man, da 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 da. And I posted, matter of fact, I have a website, you guys. If you ever want to get a remnants of some classic music, some class posted music, I have a site called More Classic Wall Music Group. And you guys, it's a private group, it's a closed group.
Yes, it is. Because I tried to get in.
Huh?
I tried
you
to
ain't
get
got
in.
The key. You ain't got the key. So you can't come
today.
In.
Yeah, because I was trying to research you.
Yeah, but you could have went to my first page.
She Google you.
That page,
I did more than that, actually.
Did you get in?
No.
Okay.
It said private page. I was like, private.
But you're in now. You know you're in. You know you're in.
I'm coming.
But what we do to that page is even, and I extend that even from the club. Doesn't matter who you are, but you got to have the same vibe that we got. Mm-hmm. If we ain't got the same vibe, we don't. I mean, we have kicked people off the group because they just do stupid things, man.
That's why it's private.
I mean, I didn't want to tell you the things that people do.
No, that reminds me of that old forum Deep House page.
Oh my God.
Yo, you lost a lot of friends behind that forum Deep House page.
Poor people.
Yeah. But what we try to do though is we try to just, reminisce the good music, and that's what we do on that page. And everybody's trying to tell me I should make it private. I mean, I should make it what's the word to use? Make it
public.
Yeah, make it
a public forum.
Yeah, I ain't doing it. I'm sticking.
I don't blame you.
You better stick with your original format.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I want to go back for just a minute about the vocals and the tribals. And I think that there are a few DJs, I'm not going to say many DJs, who have the gift of being able to make them cohesive.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use this guy over here as an example, this Will Milton guy.
Thank you.
Because he will take us on a journey with a topic. And song after song is just reiterating the thing that he's talking about. And then he opens it up, and all of a sudden you hear these drums that dance on your inner being. There is no words because he's already opened up our cavities.
Gotcha.
But that is a craft. That is something that is learned. That is something that is perfected. And not every DJ can.
Yeah, I agree with you. Because let me say this. I remember, like I was telling Will earlier the other day, his vibe, he got a vibe, even with his music, he got a vibe that's unique and it's sincere. Because like I told him the other day, I said, you know what, man, I got two people gonna be pretty angry at me because they had asked me a while back would I do an interview, and I'm like, nah, I don't do that kind of stuff, man. Nah, I ain't interested. But when he asked me, I was like, yo, I'm down. But and you know what it is? It's his aura. It's the vibe that I get. I feel I'm gonna be comfortable, you know, if I'm not gonna put myself in an uncomfortable situation, and I don't care who it may be or who it may be not, but if I don't feel it spiritually out at the beginning, I'm not doing it, basically, you know. But when we talked about, I said I would love to do it, man. I'd be honored to document in my purpose, and like I said, I'm very honored to be with you guys because I would to document what I have done and things that I may do in the future. We can pass it on as time goes on because when we transition, this will still be here. That's the only thing I like about the digital world now, though. You know, you can put it in a bottle. And,
I mean,
you know what I mean?
I feel the same way. I was thinking this the other day. When it is my turn to leave this world, my grandchildren, my grandchildren's children will hear my voice on a recording.
Yeah.
They may not have known me, but they will feel me.
Yeah. That's awesome. I thought that too, you know, and it's a great feeling when inside you feel that, you know, because at first I was like, I ain't interested. You know, a few people, nah, man, I'll get back with you. Nah, I ain't interested because it's the persons that's putting it together has got to have the right vibe. If the vibe ain't right, it ain't gonna happen. You're gonna be comfortable, and that's very important. You got to be comfortable no matter where you put yourself at.
So
that's why going to clubs. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just like you being in Virginia, I'm a state above you, and these three people that you see here with us, and there's another. It is the spiritual connection. It's not just the party. It's the spiritual connection. This is a home. BLISS NYC. It's a home for us, and it is people of like minds. Do you know what I mean? And it is so precious. It is so precious that I travel home. I go back home so that I can express that. That is how important it is for me to have that. Yeah,
very understandable.
Really is.
Very understandable.
It's about connection because not every. It's like your brand, your sound is an acquired taste. Not everyone's gonna get it.
Nah, you're right.
And sometimes it takes a third time to taste it and be like, oh, I get what you're saying now. Because when people first started coming to our events, they're like, yo, we don't hear a lot of vocals on our dance floor. And it took them a while, but like, all right, we get what BLISS NYC is doing now. It's more than just playing one format. It's playing everything because look where we all come from. We come from that era where whether it's the block parties, whether it was the clubs, you had to play everything.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. And like I say, a lot of people that I even talk to now think that I'm a DJ. And I mean, now the world knows.
You started that rumor, Scott. He's gonna get major gigs after this. He's smart.
Hey, how about that?
I'll be
But you know what, man? I played many nights at the club though, when nobody's there. Get on the turntable. Many nights.
Yo,
it sounded good, didn't it?
You gotta call my dude Ricoh Scott, because you get them gigs from DJing. That's the dude right there who threw it out there. Wall.
Yes, sir.
Who are some of the icons in the industry that you respect?
Wow. For me to answer that question, I probably won't be telling the truth, because
You're like
I'm
nobody.
gonna be honest with you. A lot of these cats, I've had dealings with them, and we friends. But it's just that what bothers me the most is they don't share. We got a whole new generation of people coming up, and it's like you got this dope record, somebody don't produce. I mean, really a good record. They won't play it. And I'm opposed to that. I think that's not cool. So for me to say who I admire, I don't even know no more. That's not good. I know.
No, but I think that statement goes.
No, I think you know what.
It
doesn't matter.
No.
It doesn't matter if that's good or bad. What matters is your truth.
Yeah. No, you know what I admire.
So it might not be anyone that you look up to that way, but that's your truth.
Yeah. No. But you know who I think, and this is my honest opinion, who I really think that earned it more than anybody else, and they don't give it to him. And I really think Nicky Ciano. He came a long way, man. I've seen Nicky. Nicky can play his ass off, man. I used to go to the gallery. Huh?
I said, yes, he can.
Nicky, I've seen them take Nicky out the club on one arm, this arm, take him out to get him some fresh air, bring him back in. He's still dragging, put one hand on the turntable, on the other turntable, he started playing.
And get life.
And make it happen, man.
And get life.
Yes.
All right. So
resurrection.
All right, so it's Ciano that you give respect to now.
And Frankie, you got to get, what? And I hate to say this, you got to give Frankie too, man. Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we need to know about this place,
man? Let me tell you something.
Yay!
Yeah, let me tell you. Say you're gonna make me eat my words now.
I knew I was gonna get you.
You got me. You got me. T. Scott, man. Matter of fact, he used to live right down the street from me, man. He's right down the street from me on Clinton Avenue. He's live on Washington, and I was on Clinton, so he right down the street, man. T. Scott he's an awesome guy, man. Awesome.
That was my cousin.
He's an awesome guy.
That was my cousin.
Really?
Spiritual cousin.
Okay.
My blood.
Wall.
But he let me tell you something.
What was special?
T. Scott used to turn. Have y'all been to Better Days? Have y'all?
Yes, I performed there.
I lived. My middle name was Better Days.
Let me tell you something.
Ricoh, man. Better Days Scott.
I remember when do you remember when Bruce first started playing there? Bruce Forrest?
Yes.
I was there the first night he started playing.
Get out.
Was this before Timmy Regisford or after Timmy Regisford?
Must have been after Timmy, because I didn't catch Timmy there. You mean after T. Scott left? You talking about, right?
Okay. Well, Bruce Forrest.
When Bruce Forrest came in afterwards, man. Bruce can play now. Let me tell you something. When he first went to Better Days, they was not giving him. They was giving him horror. But you know what?
And that would be the crowd to give you horror.
They gave him horror. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you, Bruce can play. Bruce got deep into their ass, man, and them boys got up and started dancing, man, and that was it. Bruce can play, man. He can play. And to come behind T. Scott, you gotta know what you're doing.
Yes.
Gotta know what you're doing, man. You got to know what you're doing, man. But Better Days was I used to love that club, man. It was small, man. Damn, it was small.
But it was.
It was all bar.
It was a.
It was all bar. The bar took up half or 3/4 of the club.
Yeah.
What they should have did
when you walked in, you had to go around the bar was like a racetrack, like Belmont State. You had to go around this long bar before you actually got to the dance floor. I was like, why they got so much bar? People, hardly nobody at the bar. Everybody trying to get to the dance floor, but the bar started from the front door, or halfway through the club. And I was like, they should get rid of this bar because that's what makes this place so tight. Yep. You couldn't walk past people. It was hot though.
They should took all that space and put it in the back for the dance floor. That would have been it.
Exactly. Exactly. They gave all that space to the bar and 2 little tiny, like the dance floor, and then a little 2-step down, that little lounge area. That's where everybody had to dance because the bar took the whole club.
But you know what that means.
But it was fire though.
But you know why the bar was the money. They was going for the money, basically. And see, that's the difference. Let me say this to you. When I had the club in Brooklyn, what made it a little different than other clubs was a lot of clubs wasn't concerned about the dance floor. They were more concerned about the bar making money.
Oh yeah.
That's what most club owners did.
Oh yeah.
Still today.
When we was doing parties, it was more about the dance floor and the sound system. That's what we sell liquor, we sell beer, but that wasn't our main thing. Our main thing was some good damn music and party, and that was it. And little spike this, little spike that, and we partied till like 9 in the morning, man.
Little spike.
Well, you mentioned
you hear that?
You mentioned T. Scott, Bruce Forrest. Also want to give a shout out to them two, as well as Leslie Doyle. Not sure if Leslie's checking out the show, but you got to mention Leslie if you mention Better Days and Bruce Forrest.
Also, Frankie, man.
Knuckles,
man. You got to, certain people you have to, because Frankie was such a gentleman. I mean, he was his charisma was like,
Frankie was the front man. Frankie had the big smile and the welcoming, spirit. Frankie was always the one with the big. Everybody else could be the fire DJs. They was very solitary, very closed in, very I'm only into the music thing. But Frankie was there. He was like, okay, we get ready to go on a trip. And this big smile that covered his whole face.
Yeah, no matter what happens, you can't get him upset. If you get Frankie upset, you're gonna have a problem. But he doesn't.
Yeah, then you really did something bad if you get Frankie upset.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to cover a few more things before we close. Now, I always felt like I guess Sound Factory Bar, but always had their close connection with Brooklyn because of the organizers that were running Sound Factory Bar at that time. But were you frequently going to Sound Factory Bar? Because I mean, that's where a lot of record deals were actually happening.
Well, quiet as kept. I used to do parties at Sound Factory Bar. Matter of fact, I used to do parties there. I did it for a while, man. Matter of fact, I gave Dave Morales his birthday party there. We did a birthday party for him there. I did it for a while, and I think what it was, that's when I think they changed. They had moved. There was a problem. Do you remember that situation?
They moved.
Didn't they?
They changed locations.
Yeah, around that.
The Sound Factory Bar or the event organizers.
I think it's the bar. They had a problem. I can't quite remember. So,
but wasn't it Sound Factory first?
No, the same owners. They just did a
but they moved. I think it was Sound Factory first, and they moved, and then it became Sound Factory Bar.
I thought they were two different places.
Yeah.
I thought the Sound Factory Bar was where Nicky Ciano had his event. Wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then Sound Factory was all the way down on
The
on
big
south
club.
of- yeah, big club.
Right.
Yeah, the big
Yeah.
club.
Okay.
What's the name used to play there? I forget the kid's name. The guy,
Junior Vasquez.
Junior Vasquez. Yes, he used to play there. Man.
Mhm.
It was a big.
I
That was
used
a
to
big
love
room,
to
too.
see. I used to love to see Nikki at the Cheetah Club.
That's what it was,
Oh,
right?
was it?
Before
Yeah,
Sound Factory
The
bar.
23rd Street.
yeah.
What? Nikki would have people falling out onto 23rd Street and laying on the street because they have no more energy to get home.
The
Yeah,
McDonald's getting a Happy Meal right afterwards.
You had to get a black coffee. You had to go to McDonald's to get a black coffee, no milk, no sugar. Just give me a straight and inject it into my vein.
That was the
Just give me the
old Red Bull,
talk. I don't want the burger.
The
Just
Red Bull of
insert it
baby.
into my vein. I don't even want to drink it.
Oh man,
All right, but so you
That's
did
the
Morales's birthday party there at
yeah, we
Sound
did a
Factory
birthday
bar.
party for him there. It was a while back, man. Sound Factory bar. We did it for a little while, and then we didn't do it too long. We did it for a while, then we pulled out. I can't think of the reason why. Can't quite remember, because when you're out there running, doing what you got to do, try to make it happen.
And keep it moving.
Keep it moving, man. When it's time for a headache, nobody needs a headache, man. I don't need
You just
one.
keep it moving.
Nobody needs a headache. You
Nope.
have to learn to do what you have to do and keep moving forward, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of people still ask me today, man, why don't you open a club? It ain't that easy no more.
It sure ain't.
Real estate is ridiculous right now.
Mhm.
And then if you do it in certain states, you can't do it in certain states.
Yeah.
Imagine opening a club.
The red tape alone will turn you away.
Yeah. A few people like I said have asked me, and I don't think I could. Would I would love to open a club? Yes, but like I say, real estate is ridiculous right now. I mean, to open a club in New York, you have to really be connected. Exactly. That's it.
I just don't understand why there are not any pools of people that own property to house these things after all of these years.
Well, can I give you,
please?
I think the reason why it hasn't happened because property has been owned by the superiors. That's a nice way of saying it. Been owned by them for centuries and it's been handed down through family of generations. That's number one. Corporations of organizations own these properties and they holding on to them. They're not letting you buy them. And that's the problem. Most of the nightclubs in New York at one time, as a person of color, they wouldn't allow you to own property like that. First of all, they wouldn't allow you to own it. If you had the money, you probably couldn't even buy it. They wouldn't allow you to buy it. Mm-hmm. Maybe at this day and time they will, but the prices are ridiculous. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Like the West Side Highway. Remember that? All the clubs used to be over there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one of those clubs owned by a black person. Mm-hmm. There was a club on. Do you remember Wille? Leroy Williams. You know that name? Anybody know that name? Leroy Williams.
Sounds familiar.
He used to have a record shop on Broadway and somewhere. Then he opened a club near the West Side Highway. But he ran the club, but it was owned by, the superiors, basically. And that's the reason. That is the reason. And another reason, nobody has a desire what we have. Our desire for house music and clubs, nobody had that kind of desire. They're more concerned about making money from the bar. That's their concern, making money. They don't want to open up a club and let people come dance all night and sell water. They want to sell liquor.
I hear what you're saying. It's true. I mean, there are a sprinkle. I mean, look, when we were doing Bliss NYC at the Social Butterfly, you know, DJ Prince Albert, who owns the spot, you know, of course he had to worry about his overhead, but his whole thing was, look, if people are having a good time, it's all right. And he loved the music.
Yes,
and I think that's also another thing. A lot of these club owners probably don't even like the music.
Yeah. You're right.
They're in it because of the revenue of the bar.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the whole purpose of most of these cats, man. I did a party at Langston's.
Yeah.
We did a party there. Matter of fact, we did a panorama reunion there, man. Had a ball, man. We turned the place out. I mean, we turned it out.
They just reopened.
Really?
Shout outs to Calvin.
Yeah.
Calvin. Yeah. They just reopened.
So, dude, what's the name? Still got it? The same guy? What's his name?
No.
Calvin.
No.
But don't he own that club or the bar that's on
Lafayette and South Portland?
Right.
Is that still there?
Yes.
It used to be a flower shop.
Yeah. It used to be a flower shop.
Yeah.
It's like a eatery now, but he does block parties.
What's his
name?
He
takes over the whole block.
What'd you say his name was?
Calvin.
I think it is. I think you're right. I'm not doubting it. I'm just trying to remember his name because
Calvin, he owned Langston's for years. I mean, from back 86, I'll say 86, 85.
Yep.
Langston's was there even before they put the White Castle that's there on Atlantic Avenue.
You're right.
His club was open. And I remember them building the White Castle because every time I would go to his club, there would be a little more White Castles. Until now, I just saw a couple of parties that were promoted. And remember I told you, Will, I said, Will, and Will said, that's the old Langston. And I was like, oh, because
you're not talking about DJ Cameron, are you?
So you saying Calvin still has it? He still has it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a whole different layout. He does?
Listen, well, remember I was telling you Frankie Paradise did 2 parties there? And you like, oh no, that's the old Langston's. And I was like, for real?
Yeah.
And this is recently.
They were doing that before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
They were rebuilding that because they were in process because they got shut down.
Yes,
and they were rebuilding it during the time we were at the Social Butterfly.
Man, and we was right up the street.
Let me tell you something, man. That spot they opened on a Lafayette, and when you're talking about the little place you go to drink, it was like a little flower shop. Man, that place it was no bigger than a bathroom. I'm serious. I'm not exaggerating either. Am I right or wrong?
You're right. It was just like a little cube. It was like a little cube.
I tell you, yeah, it was. And man, I mean, I went there once. It was so crowded. I couldn't believe how many people was in there, and everybody was standing outside. But they was going in and out of the spot, you know.
Yeah,
they were desperate for it.
Well, now they do parties there, and they do block parties on St. James.
That's Cameron. That's Cameron in them. DJ Cameron from Langston's.
Yeah. That's why when you were saying about it, I was thinking about Cameron because he was playing there too.
Yeah. So Wall, there's a request which is to tell a funny story in the studio. They hitting you today.
That sounds like you got a lot.
Yeah, right.
It's not funny, but it is funny now. We was in Hit Factory after this project was over. We was in there, and we was recording some stuff, and I mean we must have did about We was in there about I don't know, almost 16 hours in of doing stuff. Meanwhile, the multi-track, we was recording at the same time doing what we have to do. When it was over, so we had the guy engineer, he did everything for us, gave us the masters and everything. We left, man. We went and turned the project in and was nothing on it, bro.
Well, I knew you was going there.
Nothing on it. Nothing on it.
Well, I knew you was going there.
Man, you talking about embarrassed because we had to take it to a major label. Talking about embarrassed. We gave them the multi-track. They paid us the balance, and about a week later, we get this phone call. No, your job. We thought they was playing, and it wasn't funny, but it is funny now. It's funny now, but it wasn't when it happened.
All right. So I just want to give some shout outs to some people that's in the chat room. We got Bravo La Fortune, who was who was with us a few days ago here on the show. Mikey Jones,
Big up.
Set Mel, DJ Extra.
Set Mel.
Yeah, we also have DJ Will P. It's my homie from Roosevelt. We got NDS House Party was good. Thank you for that comment with Bliss NYC. Late Night Cat. We had DJ Doug Gomez in the room as well. Daryl Kenneth, Craig Rock Shepherd. There was another question. Walt, when can we expect some new music from you?
Soon. Not to put myself in a position, but I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. Well, we're trying to finish this compilation. We're trying to do Family Prayer. We're trying to do all the things over, because we never remixed that stuff. So we contemplating on, do we want to do another EP, or do we want to do it singly? What do you think we should do? Throw it back in your lap, right? What do you think?
I test the market. There's some people who still want that album. They want to feel and hear that story from track 1 to track 10. So there's peeps that like that, but some peeps just want to pick and choose and dissect, whatever they want to hear. But I just think that you just gotta give your audience what they want. And that's important, because we talked about connection. Without that connection with the audience, it's just we're just names.
It's waste time. You're wasting time. Yeah. Let me ask you a question. That Spring record. What are y'all familiar with the record?
That record is dope.
I'm gonna look at
that record is dope. Yep.
So
that was a Shelter anthem record. I'm talking about first Shelter. When we were in there, we were crying, because when we heard that coming, and you knew it because of the rhythm section that you all put in that track, because that's how it starts off, just a little rhythm, and then all of a sudden the kick drum comes in, and then you see her coming in and out with her vocal hook. Track is dope.
Yeah, so we, like I said, we what we wanted to do was release that first, but we kind of figure we want to do a makeover. We want to do and let the cat out the bag, right? Shall I let the cat out the bag?
Yeah.
We want to do the Alicia Myers. I want to thank you.
Wow.
With Alicia? With Alicia?
Yeah, Alicia Myers, I want to thank you.
Wow.
It's nice.
Now I know this already, and it's a strong record. You have to be able to you have to be able to separate yourself as a singer singing that record, because you have to identify yourself, because if you don't, you're just gonna sound like the record, and you gotta make yourself.
Wow.
Come on, give me the truth, fellas. I mean, people. I love
a lot of cats.
Hey, I love challenges. So please.
That's a big one to swallow, yo.
Wait. I wear big.
That's a big one to swallow.
I wear big boy pants, bro.
All right. Make sure you got your suspenders on.
Hey,
It's a long john.
Okay.
Yo,
what do y'all think, though?
Wall.
Wow.
A lot of people don't know, but Alicia Myers is from that group One Way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So my thing was, it's a great record, and I've heard people done remixes of it already. Believe me, I don't heard every remix is to be heard. So
Recently.
I know. I
Recently.
mean, for me to do that, I have to do my homework. That's very important. When you do a record, you're gonna do a record over. You have to do your homework. If you don't do your homework, you're gonna wind up in the same basket everybody else is in. So I don't listen.
I think the thing is, what would be the objective of actually doing it over again? Like what was missing from the original that maybe?
Well, for number one. For number one, it was only, how fast was it? One what? I mean, it wasn't even one something.
112 or 110. Yeah,
I think it was less than that. We want to get it on the dance floor. We want to move it. Want it to move. You know, it's moving. It's grooving. The way it's at right now, when you play it on a club, it's not a peak record. When we talked about peak records, it's not a peak record.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we want to take it to another level. Nobody done that. I done heard of, man, so many remixes of that record. And for me to say what I'm gonna do to it doesn't even bother me, because it doesn't bother me to share. If I can share information with people, hey, take the information, do the same thing. But my point is, you gotta take it somewhere else. That's how I see it.
Well, I say try it out.
All I can say to that is I can't wait to hear this.
Trust me.
We can't wait to hear
that.
We're gonna hey, when I finish, we're gonna debut it right here.
I can't wait to hear this.
All good. Because you know, Wall, those drums alone, those drums cut right through the track. So
yeah,
I think that's the first thing you got to get past is that drum section.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Did you know there was a chorus on that song? Have you ever heard the back? Have you ever heard the chorus?
No, I haven't.
Nobody even know there's a chorus on there.
No, I'm playing it through my mind right now. I don't.
Nobody ever heard it.
I haven't. I've never heard a chorus.
Because she only says it in the beginning. That's her opening line, and that's it.
No.
I want to thank you, Heavenly Father, for shining light, and that's it.
Nah, it's more there to it. It's all about See, the thing is, there's certain tracks that's out there, and certain tracks if you know how to get.
Okay, so now you got a secret box. Look, okay, so now you got a secret box hidden somewhere.
There's a little chorus in there, Will.
Okay.
There is a little chorus in there.
Yeah, but in the song, it's nowhere else in there. You may have heard it at the beginning, but as you hear the song, they took it out, but it comes back in again.
It's just like Stevie Wonder. It's just like Stevie Wonder, another star. He only says it in the opening line, and that's it.
Yeah.
We think the title's no. Play that no. Stevie Wonder song. It's another star.
Mm-hmm.
He only brings that line in once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, there's something on that. There's more on that track that a lot of people don't even know. See, one thing I've learned in this digital world, you can reach further now. That's one thing I like. So I was able to reach real deep and find some stuff that probably nobody ever reached for or got. I was shocked when I heard it. Totally shocked.
There's a website where you can get nothing but
I'm shocked to hear it.
Say that again?
Yeah.
I'm shocked to hear it.
Okay. What did you say, Will?
There's a website where you get nothing but stems from a lot of those older recordings.
Yeah.
Speaking of go ahead.
Never mind. Go ahead. Let's go.
Speaking of stems, do you have the multi-tracks of all the stuff that you did with John Robinson?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. My partner John Moore is like he's like I tell you, man. When I was out partying, he was home in the studio. I had to drag him to come out. Mainly, he's the guy. You know, I do my part, he does his part. But when I'm out partying, networking, he's home in the studio doing what needs to be done. I'd be trying to drag him out. You know?
Hey, Wall. Sometimes it's safer that way.
Hey, you must know him.
Everybody has a part to play.
He said the same thing. But you know what? It paid off better because, like I said, when it comes to engineering and stuff, he got an ear. He's very tight, man. Very tight. You know, very tight. And I feel blessed to be being his friend for all these years. You know, like I said, when I first met him, he told me he's going to play for me one day, and I'm like, okay. But I'm a gentleman. I mean, I got some of the best cats playing for me when I had the club, and when he told me that, I just say, yeah, okay, give me your phone number, and we became friends, and we still friends today, and we do music together.
Yeah, it's about keeping the connection with the people. You know, it's so important.
I agree.
So, DJ Extra wants to let you know that it's Todd.
It's Todd.
Yeah, Todd. So, Walt, is there anything that we didn't cover that you want to talk about before we close?
No, I think we did. I think we did good. I mean, I enjoyed myself. I had a great time.
It's been wonderful.
Like I felt like I was out at a party talking to good people.
We did have a party in here.
You know?
Yes.
You know, and the best part about it, I was able to express some things that's always been on my mind. And I'm sure by me saying certain things, people don't get to hear it. They may have a different opinion, and it may not. Okay. You know, but you have to voice your opinion, and in this day and time, if you can share, it's always good to share with people. You know, because you can always give information to somebody, and that's the most important thing. I just hope the young generation understand what this music is all about when it's come to recording. It ain't about buying a 4-track or a multi-track and put it in your house and think you're doing. It doesn't work that way. It's deeper than that, much deeper.
Well, you know, having a platform to where you can share your thoughts. See, the thing is, sometimes our peers, they take it too personal. And a lot of times it doesn't even apply to them. And if it does, maybe there's something that they feel about that, but it's just an opinion and it's just someone else's story. It doesn't mean that the listener or the person has to be offended by it. This is just, we're telling it the way, I think Ricoh said it at its best. We're telling it our way, the way that we saw it through our own lenses, not the lens that you want me to see it, but the way that you saw it. I mean, if that was the case, then we would put the person in your seat. We want you to tell it the way that you saw your experience. You know,
and I be honest, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's like, yo, you know, but like I'd say, when we finish this record, you guys are gonna be the first that I come to.
Cool. You come back to the show and promote it.
Yeah, I am. You know, when I finish it now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't do things quick. Takes a minute. Takes a minute to do it right, man. If you go do it right,
we don't want you to do it quick. We want you to do it right.
Yes, that's the purpose.
Nice and
that
easy.
Is the purpose. That is the purpose. But one thing you guys need to definitely keep me informed when something's happening in DC or Washington on Tony or somebody come up there. Oh man.
Right.
You know. Definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Atlanta has a really thriving house scene as well. So I'm not sure is Atlanta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They're doing their thing as well.
I've been to Atlanta, but it wasn't for the house scene then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard it's going on down there. But you know what's bouncing the South now? South Carolina and North Carolina.
Yeah. South Carolina's getting ready to have a festival next weekend.
The Jersey heads are migrating, doing it out there.
Mm-hmm.
What are they doing? Is it outdoor in North Carolina?
Yeah, South Carolina.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
But it's still us. It's just us moved down there.
Mm-hmm.
It's still us. It's just us moved down there.
Us going.
I hear you. I can believe it. Like I'm down here.
You know,
I'm down here.
we're expounding on our horizons.
Because when I first came to Virginia, I thought about doing something down here, but it's just
Do it.
It's,
definitely.
I did my research. I did the research. I went to the clubs. I went to the gay clubs, the straight clubs. I did the whole scene, and it's a college town, and it's a whole different vibe.
But it's a whole lot of us down there that need something, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And not only that, isn't it great to be the first?
Yeah.
Say it, Rico.
You got a very good point there.
Okay. You would rather build a foundation than to come in after it's already built and see things not in place. So if you first, you get to kind of set the tone on what the Virginia scene gonna be like.
Yeah.
I mean, come
and
on.
we'll come.
Who would have thought Boston would have a house scene?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Not me.
Now DC always been. I remember I used to go to the warehouse
Mandrill
back in the day.
Yeah.
I remember
I used to go warehouse too.
I remember I used to go all the way.
Matter of fact, back in the day, we used to do the tri-state circle. Where we would go, we would leave New York, go to Jersey to Zanzibar, leave Zanzibar, go to Philly for Catacombs, leave Catacombs, go to Baltimore for Paradise, leave Paradise, go to DC for Warehouse, and then shoot back up to New York just to catch the end of the garage on Sunday.
Look, Rico having a moment, y'all.
Yes, he is.
I'm having a moment.
Rico has left the building.
Okay, I'm having a moment. What?
He's on that chitlin line.
That's why I'm like, yo, do something in Virginia that gives us an opportunity to come on down the road.
Yes.
Yo, we'll do it, man. We be there.
We travel.
Honestly, when I thought about it,
and if you want us to come with our crew, we got everybody set up already. We got a door person, we got a host, we got a DJ, we got just you want us to come, we'll be there.
Yeah, but
we got heads of Virginia now that come out to us.
We
got heads of Virginia that comes out to us.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they come up here.
They
come up. They was at Coney Island.
Yeah.
I can believe it.
And Baltimore is always in New York.
Most definitely. So.
Yeah, I can believe it because I remember, like I said, I used to go to DC. Just man, I had to have it. You know, when the warehouse was happening. Ooh, crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll support you.
Most definitely. Yeah, we got Willie Wall in the building. Thank you so much, Willie Wall, for stopping by.
Yes.
We appreciate you, man. For sharing
your knowledge. Thank you very much, John.
Man, I truly, truly, truly feel blessed, and I thank you guys, man. I really do, with all my heart, really do. You know.
Yeah.
But I got. Oh, also, man, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get everybody's email from Will, and I'm gonna send you guys t-shirts and cups. Probably get the cup first, and the t-shirts after.
Oh, thank you.
515 t-shirts, and then we have like cups with the 515 on it.
Nice.
I'll send you guys.
Yeah, where can we find you? Where can the people find you?
My email 515. Oh man, you know my email, don't you?
Well, yeah, but I'm not going to give the people your email.
Yeah,
you give it so the audience watching you right now will get it from you.
So
it doesn't matter. 515 MCW 515@gmail.com. All right.
I got that.
And
if you need to get it again, watch the archive. Just hit the rewind button.
I'm going to take my giraffe here.
Oh, yeah. Also, if you guys need to stop by, I have a website also.
You go. That's what
it's called 515brooklyn.com.
Okay.
You need to stop by. We have classic t-shirts, which is a 515, which indicates the building in Brooklyn that we have made our mark at, basically.
Nice.
So if you want some classic t-shirts, come on, see us. I'm sure you're going to enjoy them.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's it? What is it again?
515.
It's 515 Brooklyn.
515brooklyn.com.
It's www.515brooklyn.com. .com.
Oh, look at
There
that.
you have it.
Yeah, so give we you know.
There you have it.
Yeah, come on by and see us.
Come and
Plus
get
also,
it.
Plus some of the records that we produce, we pull them from everybody. We're gonna sell them ourselves, basically.
Good for you.
Mm.
You know.
There you have it. Come and get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm officially crowning you blissed. You are now a part of the family. Yes. Welcome home.
Shout out to Mahazi Base.
Can you go further
Hey,
down?
Mahazi.
Let's see. Yeah, keep going down. Bang, right. Hit this guy.
Oh, those are nice.
Hit either one of them. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one everybody's in love with now.
Good music doesn't have an expiration date. I know that's right.
And if you come down here, hit one of these guys, you'll see the back of the t-shirt. Yeah. Third one. Yeah. The other one. Next. There you go. Bang.
Yes, that is a nice hook. Good music doesn't have an expiration date.
So get your 515 t-shirts, y'all.
Yeah,
That's
man. We've been doing this since 1975. Would you believe that?
Wow, nice.
That's how long we've been in the game, man. Then 1978, 78, and that's when we started making noise, basically.
Well, you already got one customer. He wants a 3X shirt.
He can have it. Just they just go to he goes to the website and it does everything for him. He just size bop. They'll mail it to him, and plus you get a free cup at the same time. It comes automatically, basically.
That's what's up. Get your t-shirt and coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, see, one thing I've learned: you got to give to get. If you don't give, you're not going to get much.
That's right.
And what I even when I said with the thing I was posting, a lot of people that's on my page, they've been through this journey with me. A lot of these people are old friends of mine from Panorama days. So what I do is we got a campaign going. We're gonna toast to the classics. So I'm gonna send out I think it's about 75 cups we're gonna give to all of my friends. You give a little, you get a lot.
That's it. All right, family. Thank you so much.
Well, consider me a friend.
I got you. I told you guys got
consider me a friend.
I just got to get y'all guys an email, and I'll send the stuff to you.
Will has all
Will got it. Will got everybody's email.
Speaking of friends, I just want to give a late birthday shout out to Ricoh Scott.
Woo! Happy birthday, Ricoh!
Happy birthday, man!
Yay!
What you 15? You 15?
Huh?
You 15?
25.
Very good year.
Happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
It's a blessing for all of us to still be here, man. It really is.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt.
Said you can't.
Yes.
Can't complain.
I say it all the time. Here. I'm very thankful. I know we all are thankful, but I say I'm thankful.
You gotta appreciate.
I done been through a couple of generations, and I'm still loving it. That's the exciting part about it.
Yeah.
All right. So Wille, when we first spoke, you asked, "Hey man, how long is this interview?" I'm like, "It depends on you." Would you think it would have been 2 hours and 42 minutes that we've been on this?
That's how long it's been. Hey, time. You know what they say, right? You know what they say.
We
when
went
you're
to a
having
time
good
warp.
Time just when you're having a good
time flies when you're having fun, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So true, man.
Yeah.
So true.
Like you said, it felt like you was in the club.
Almost. I see my lights blinking. Next time I'm gonna have my lights like you guys, man. I'm gonna get that mellow, You know, I got to work on it.
All right.
All right.
You do that, I'll bring the baby powder.
Hey.
Yeah, that was a good one. Baby powder days, boy. Ooh.
Yes.
What was that on Broadway? 599 Broadway?
Mm-hmm.
Broadway in Houston. Remember the club upstairs? The dance studio?
The Loft. That was Mike Stone thing, and then Wild Pitch in the House Nation started doing that.
I gave parties
Mike
up there
Stone.
also, man. It's a big it was a dance studio.
Faisal's.
Big
No, not
place.
Faisal's.
Yep,
Yeah.
Basil?
Faisal. Yeah, it was
Basil.
Now what Faisal's was down further, but it was I know you're talking about the dance spot, yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice spot too, man.
Yeah.
It was right around the corner from Cats.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't remember the place, but yeah. All right, so Ricoh, you got a lot of happy birthdays. Bravo saying happy birthday. Mahazi saying happy birthday.
Thank you.
I love, man.
You are loved.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here to receive them.
Amen.
All right. So till next time, family, we out. I'm Will Milton. We got Ricoh Scott, Sandy ParadiseLady, Carolyn Victorian, special guest Willie Wall, the golden era house music, man. Yes, sir.
We got house music.
Love it.
We got house music in the house.
Right.
Love it.
Good night,
I
everybody.
can't wait to play it back.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, we out, family. Until next time. See you soon. Stay blissed by the beats.
Yes.